All right, hello everybody. Today is Monday, November 19th of 2018, and this is the start of an interview with my mom, Yuli Wagner, at our home here in Utah. My name's Charlene Riley, and I'll be the interviewer today. The interview is being done in connection with the history of the Riley Wagner family, primarily the Wagner side, but we will talk a little bit about the Riley side as well. We'll mainly be talking about my mom's recollection of her growing up in Germany and then coming to the United States and some of the things that she did when she got here and had to go through as far as like citizenship, things like that. So thank you, Mom, for volunteering for this. All right, so what I'm going to do is ask you just a couple questions and stuff. Where did you grow up in Germany?
I grew up close to Heidelberg.
Close to Heidelberg?
Mm-hmm.
What did you like about that place?
I loved Heidelberg.
Yeah.
It was pretty, it had a big castle.
Did it?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
I liked that.
So what do you remember most about your childhood?
I had to get up in the morning before school, go with my grandma out into the field, help with potatoes, and then run home, wash up, go to school, got home from school, did my schoolwork, ran out to the field, helped my grandma come home. That was my day, everyday thing.
So it's pretty much repetitive, constant, busy. Nice, thank you. So speaking of grandma and everything else like that, what are some of the other names just of in the family? Like I know them, but just so that way the people that are watching the interview, what are the names like your brother, grandma, grandpa, great grandma, great grandpa, any as far back as you can remember?
My brother's name was Dieter.
Mm-hmm.
My mom's mom, her name was Eva Seltzer. She was my grandma. She was my rock. And then there was Friedrich Wagner. He was working for the railroad. He worked there for 45 years. And that's about most I can remember from my parents. Mm-hmm. And my parents was Hedda Wagner. And my dad was Helmut Edward Friedrich Wagner.
Nice, thank you. And as we're growing up, we're always hearing stories about Susie, Anna, and Uncle Fritz. How are they within the family as far as the aunts, uncles?
They was my main family. They adopted me like I was their kids. They had no kids. And they was cousins from my grandma.
Nice.
And every time I got in trouble, they bailed me out.
You make it sound like it was quite a lot.
Yeah. I was no angel. I was a troublemaker.
I think a lot of kids sometimes have like parents that are disciplined and everything else like that and see things differently. Now, did they all live in the same area, or did you have to travel to go see them?
I had an aunt what lived in Stuttgart, and I had to go and take the train. And I was 14, and I had a sign around my neck with my name on it and where I came from. And I went to Hella. That was my mom's stepsister, to her house, and she had a bicycle, what she couldn't use anymore. She was too old for it. Yeah. And so she gave it to me, and I had to bring it home with the train. It was interesting.
I'm sure it was, especially back then. So what do you remember most about coming to the United States?
I didn't want to come to the United States.
No, why not?
I couldn't talk American. And just thinking about it on the plane, I had nobody over here. And it just freaked me out.
So who did you run into when you first got to the airport?
We got off the plane, and my mother-in-law was there. I never ever seen a woman with rollers in her hair in the middle of the night in an airport. I never seen a woman with jogging pants on in the airport. Because in Germany, no matter how old she was had to wear a dress. That was it. And there was my ex-husband's sister, little sister was there. Kara was there too. We rollers in her hair and then a scarf over the head. Yeah, and I thought I was totally in a nut family or something. I couldn't figure out what was going on. And I had a really hard time. But they made me feel welcome. But I couldn't understand anything they were saying.
Yeah. It would definitely be different.
Because your dad, he talked German too. You know, Anna, Susie, and Fritz taught him German. And so I wasn't worried about it. I thought, gosh, if he talks German, you know, it's going to be okay. I never thought that I would have to stay with the family while he had to go to Vietnam. And I had nobody to talk German to.
I remember you telling the story about you washing clothes first thing in the morning.
Oh
and
yeah,
Grandma
4
Ivy.
o'clock in the morning. I was washing clothes, and the machine was right next to the bedroom. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay, and here goes the machine, clunkety clunkety clunk. You know, if it's a little bit too heavy or one-sided.
Yes.
And Grandma Ivy came running out, and she said, "Shh, let everybody sleep." I was feeling bad. I was feeling very bad.
Yes.
I never washed 4 o'clock in the morning again.
So, what do you remember about Grandma Ivy and the Riley side of the family? And like, where did you
I
see them?
loved Grandma Ivy and I loved Carl Riley. Her husband, they was, they took me fishing all the time. They called me Daisy May. I had army boots on and a big jacket. And we went up to Moon Lake in Rock Creek. And I had a really heavy coat on. He was about 4 sizes too big. And I looked like some beata down the street.
It was fun though?
It was fun. I had fun. And we always made a bet who can catch the first fish.
Who won?
I did.
You did?
I had a teeny tiny little 1-inch fish. That was the first fish I had.
But it was a fish.
It was a little fish.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Now, when you came over, how did you get your citizenship? How did you study for it, take the test? How did you get your citizenship?
I was working in Duchesne for the sheriff's department. And we had Heber Schmidt. And we had Super Cup Jeff. And they knew I wanted to make citizen. And so they came, every day they came in and asked me questions. I had a booklet. I still have the booklet. And who was the first president? Who was the 10th president? What's the Second Amendment? You know, and I had to answer that. And they just always cut me off guard. And so they got me this T-shirt and it says German import. They said, when I make citizen, they're going to put on the back, she finally made it. So it took me, oh my gosh, it took me about 4 years to go through that whole thing.
And learning English at the same time.
And learning English at the same time. And that's where they helped me a lot. And then Claire, the sheriff, oh yeah, he helped me so a lot with the English.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. And I just got one more question and stuff on the interview. Just what are, 1 or 2 memories that you have? I know you've shared some with us about in Utah. What are 1 or 2 memories that you have from Utah that you'd like to share?
I have a ton of friends in Utah. I have a ton of friends in Deer Valley. They like my second family because I worked there. And then I have a ton of friends everywhere. But the main thing I like here is that you have the freedom. Nobody tells you what to do, when to do it, how to do it. You have to do mainly everything yourself. And I like to go outside and dig in my garden when I want to, not when somebody tells me to.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Those is all the little things. A lot of people take that for granted, and I don't.
Oh yeah, no, I can definitely.
That's why I'm gonna make one heck of a garden out back here.
I'm sure you are, and I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. Well, do you have any questions of me or anything else you'd like to add before we close this interview?
No, not really, honey.
Okay. Well, thank you again for taking some time to talk to me about this and for sharing it with everybody that's going to watch this video. So thank you so much.
You got it, sweetheart.
All right, thank you all for your attention. That concludes my oral history interview, and I hope you all enjoy it. Take care.